Hello, BookTube. Who's up for a little more mail? I had mail that I did earlier today. I made a video earlier today, but I feel bad about it. I'm going to post it anyway. But I feel bad about it because the first 19 minutes were me just complaining about random irritating things that happened to me in my day. And I know we all say here on BookTube that we are watching for the people and not for the books, but that seemed to be abusing the privilege. So I feel like I owe you 20 minutes of mail. So I thought we'd go over some more mail without any complaining, without anything but, unless I'm complaining about the book itself, I won't be complaining about anything. Uh, the intervening time between that mail haul and this mail haul has been wonderful. It's been full of play with my little bean. It's been full, who's right here. She's right here next to me. And it was also full of attempts at walks. It's chilly and wet outside. It's not exactly raining, but it's wet. It's wet everywhere. So, and that doesn't really appeal to her. After a while, even if it's not raining, after a while she realizes she is getting wet because she's got fur all over her and it's flicking water all up over her. And after a while, she just wants to stop. But it's been wonderful. It has purged me. That and unburdening to you has purged me of any ill feeling that was remaining. So we can just go at the mail. So we'll start with this first one. Ordinarily, I say that I wonder what a book is. You know, I pick up the package like anybody. I wonder what a book is, what's in it. But this one tells me what's in it. It's something called The Extinction of Irena Ray. so the surprise is gone there. But we can still learn about the book, which is almost certainly a February release. Almost certainly. Let's take a look here. Okay, so it is The Extinction of Irena Ray by Jennifer Croft. Got a Dewey Bible of information here. I'm sure I'm not going to need all this. Let's pare this down. Let's get rid of as much of this as we can, and just stick to the main event here. Oh no, this is a March release. Okay, finished copies in March. Interesting. Okay, this is early March. What have we got here? It was named a most anticipated book of the season by Debutiful. I don't know that. Is that a website? Debutiful? Is that dedicated to debut fiction? If it is, I should probably know about it. The Rumpus, The Millions, Book Page, LitHub, Crime Reads, and Zibby Mag. So this thing is hotly anticipated. Let's see here. This is Jennifer Croft's debut novel. Fantastic. How wonderful. And it is a propulsive tale of translation, climate catastrophes, family secrets, erotic rivalries, and more from a literary translator of extraordinary talent. 8 devoted translators arrive at a house in a primeval Polish forest on the border of Belarus. The house belongs to the world-renowned author Irena Ray, and her hand-picked group of translators is there to translate her magnum opus, Grey Eminence. But within days of their arrival, she disappears without a trace. The translators, who each hail from different countries but share the same cult-like reverence for their beloved author, begin to investigate where she may have gone while proceeding with the work of translating her masterpiece. They explore this ancient wooded refuge with its intoxicating slime molds and lichen, and study her exotic belongings and layered texts for clues. But doing so reveals secrets and deceptions of Irena Ray's that they're utterly unprepared to face. Forced to confront their differences as a group, they grow increasingly paranoid in this fever dream of isolation and obsession. Soon, the translators are tangled up in a web of rivalries and desire, searching for their beloved author and trying to survive in the eerie, primeval forest. This playful, clever, thought-provoking debut novel is a brilliant examination of art, celebrity, the natural world, and the power of language. Well, goodness gracious. Who is the author when she's at home? She won a Guggenheim Fellowship for this novel. So no starving in a garret. And a William Saroyan International Prize for Writing for her memoir, Homesick. And the International Booker Prize for her translation of Nobel laureate Olga Tokarzek's Flights. Goodness gracious. What a CV. She also translated the Book of Jacob, which I quite liked. She has received the American Academy of Arts and Letters Award in Literature. Oh, Okay, all right, fine, fantastic. Those are huge credentials. Of course, those don't say a hill of beans as to whether or not you can create a convincing character or make me care about anything. But certainly this comes long heralded. I am not part of any of those websites that gave it all this anticipatory buzz, but it's a March release. I am still, believe it or not, I am still up to my ham hocks in January books. But sooner or later, sometime, probably this weekend, I need to shift the focus to February. Sooner or later, I need to do that. So let's see, what can we do next? Let's do this. Oh, fantastic. Okay, we've already seen this. This is great. This is the finished copy. A very interesting thing from Osprey Publishing. I never get anything from them. So to get something from them is a thrill. This comes out on February 6th, so this is coming out right away. We've already seen this. This is the finished copy of a book by Mike Cole and Michael Livingston called The Killing Ground, a biography of Thermopylae. But not just King Leonidas, not just the Spartans versus the Persians. These two authors had the inspired idea to tell the history of many battles that have been fought at Thermopylae. And it works. It really, really works. Let's see here. For those of you who missed this the first time, this is going to be a $35 hardcover, just coming out in 10 days. While the epic events of 480 BC, when Leonidas and 300 Spartans attempted to hold the pass at Thermopylae, have been immortalized in poetry, art, literature, and film, no history has ever before detailed the other battles and engagements that took place at this exact same location. From the very first action between rival ancient Greeks through to battles fought by Romans, there you go, there's a Roman sword on the cover there, and Byzantines, Huns, and Ottomans, and finally the desperate struggle against German occupying forces during World War II. This book details the background and history of each conflict, the personalities and decision-making of the commanders, the arms and tactics of the troops, and how each battle played out. Terrific popular military history. Very, very happy to have the finished copy here. First week of February. Get your library to get this thing. It's going to have a lot of readers. Anybody, for instance, who's familiar with 300, the Zack Snyder movie, or the Frank Miller graphic novel, anybody who's familiar with that is going to want to read this. Great, fantastic. Finished copy for February. Wonderful. Maybe some of the rest of these will be that as well. Let's see what this next one is. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, my. Okay. All right, this comes out in May. This is going to be almost $40. No sheet for it. Very odd. It's ordinarily not the case. This is by Charles Taylor. No long stories need interrupt our mail haul. This is by Charles Taylor, and it is called Cosmic Connections, Poetry in the Age of Disenchantment. Lovely. Just a lovely cover. Just lovely. So what have we got here from Charles Taylor? This is the long-awaited follow-up to The Language Animal, and it explores the romantic poets central to the author's theory of language. In this book, in The Language Animal, Charles Taylor's 2016 account of human linguistic capacity was a revelation, toppling scholarly conventions and illuminating our most fundamental selves. But, as Taylor noted in that work, there was much more to be said. Cosmic Connections continues his exploration of romantic and post-romantic responses to disenchantment and the innovations of language. Reacting to the fall of cosmic orders that were at once metaphysical and moral, the Romantics used the symbols of music and poetry to recover contact with reality beyond fragmented existence. Okay, all right. I don't have a pub sheet for this thing, but I now know who wrote this copy. I'm familiar with her style. They sought to overcome disenchantment and groped toward a new meaning of life. Their accomplishments have been extended by post-romantic generations into the present day. Taylor's magisterial work, that would be this, takes on us from Holden and Novalis and Keats and Shelley to Hopkins, Rilke, Baudelaire, and T.S. Eliot, and beyond. In seeking deeper understanding and a different orientation to life, the language of poetry is not merely a pleasurable presentation of doctrines already elaborated elsewhere. Rather, the author insists, poetry persuades us through the experience of connection. The resulting conviction is very different from that gained through the force of argument. its very nature, poetry's reasoning will often be incomplete, tentative, and enigmatic, but at the same time, its insight is too moving, too obviously true, to be ignored. Okay, so I don't know what any of that means, but when you're talking about poetry, very often publicity material will slip into enigmatic phrasing, to put it mildly. But this is the romantics and post-romantics are going to be all over this thing. That's going to be reason enough to read it anyway. I'm trying to remember if I read The Language Animal. I should be able to remember that, but I'm not sure whether I did or not. I'll have to check and see, and maybe get a copy if because the cover copy of this almost makes it sound like this is a direct continuation of that. I would hope that that isn't true, and even if it is true, I would hope that you wouldn't say that in your cover copy, because that's going to discourage more readers than it encourages. But I should refresh my memory on it anyway. It definitely sounds like this book could not exist without the other one. I don't know how dependent it is, but I'll have to check and see if The Language Animal is here, or if I have actually read it and maybe pronounced on it at some place. Then we'll do our last package, and then we'll be done. I don't know if I will try to give you all 19 minutes that you missed in the earlier video, even if I have to, I don't know, natter on, because that was bothering me, even though I appreciate the ability to just complain. All right, I am sorry about this. This is not padding. I am actually having to destroy every aspect of this package. Literally tear it apart like a gorilla. Literally, I'm having to tear it apart to open it because it's taped everywhere. A little word to the wise to the publicists who watch this channel: you do not need to tape this. No matter how heavy the book is inside, it's not going to pop open. Let's just get rid of that. We'll just throw it over there and see what was worth all that trouble. Okay. I think we've already seen this, right? I think we saw the advanced copy of this. Now we have the finished copy. It's one of my favorite authors, so this turns out to be a very good mail haul. This is the finished copy of Amitav Ghosh's book, Smoke and Ashes, Opium's Hidden Histories. And this is certainly a February release. Yes, mid-February. So a lot of February finished copies here. All the more of a kick in the you-know-what for me to make sense of that February shelf. All the more of a reason to do that. To go over there and just wrestle with those books until they make sense, until they are neat and ordered and dated, so that I know where I stand going into February. That's all the more reason to do it. Okay, so with this book, the acclaimed novelist and essayist Amitav Ghosh delivers a sweeping, globe-spanning investigation into opium's inescapable impact on modern history. From the 18th and 19th century production of opium in India and the foisting of that opium onto China by the British Empire, to the economic ties to American businesses interest in the opiate and epidemics of today, the author melds elements of history, travelogue, criticism, and personal essay while taking into account ecology, international and national politics, and the movements of people and capital, to give readers an all-encompassing and revealing account of how the opium poppy has shaped our world. Now that description, history, travelogue, criticism, personal essay, if you're not familiar with this author, that might sound like something I'm not going to like, and that you're not going to like. But this is a really good author, so he manages. In part growing out of the research that the author conducted to write his celebrated Ibis trilogy, and continuing in the tradition of his acclaimed 2021 book, The Nutmeg's Curse, this book is an adroit intellectual journey in which the author lays bare the impact of one single plant and the complex connections of a global world. Okay, fantastic. So this comes out in mid-February. I need to make a pile of February books and start dealing with them. That's what I need to do. I, of course, quibble with one detail here. That business about how the opium that was grown in India was foisted on China by the British Empire. Do a quick nationality search of the people who were conducting that opium trade. I think you'll find that a lot of them were Chinese, and a lot of them were also Indian. A lot of them had very much a lot to hide from the British Empire. But we live in a fashionably anti-imperialistic age now, so I imagine they will be the villain of the piece. Boy, though, this is terrific. This has got a starred review from Publishers Weekly, and it's got a couple of other blurbs as well. Great, fantastic. It got a starred review from Publishers Weekly and a favorable review from Kirkus. Okay, so there you go. We have February releases here. That is great. I try to fold it so that I can see, so I only have to open it to see the date. So we have Smoke and Ashes by Amitav Ghosh. Always going to be, I would read this author on any subject. We have Cosmic Connections by Charles Taylor. We have The Killing Ground, a battle of Thermopylae, over thousands of years, not just the one battle. And finally, The Extinction of Irena Ray by Jennifer Croft, a apparently much heralded debut novel. Oh, good Lord. From all the talk on there, it's going to be a tough act to live up to. But I'm going to ignore all that when I read the book. A lot of these things are jostling now as candidates to read tonight. Just like a couple of things did from that earlier Kvetching Blighted book mail. I just have to resist the urge because I don't want to just read new releases tonight. I will read new releases tonight, but I also want to throw in something older as well, or something indie. But this is certainly fine, and it's not full of complaining, so that's good. So I didn't quite get to 19 minutes, but what's a few minutes between friends? I wanted to give you a little more mail, so I'll let if any more mail comes today, I'll just let it pile up and we'll do it tomorrow. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up for now. But I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.